Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are getting into some more Tower of God Webtoon, and unfortunately we are dealing with a story that has to do with Rachel. I'm hoping that she gets humbled during this whole, I don't know, competition between her and Baum, given that I'm just gonna assume that Baum is gonna be victorious and get this Thor fragment. I've been disappointed before with her survival skills. I also can't get over the fact that this guy who's supposed to be all like spooky or whatever just makes me think of a Super Mario character. What are the like skeleton turtle things? Am I wrong? Same vibe. Strong cheekbones. Also surprisingly chill that Hockney just has his eyes. I like how we're introducing Heljo like he isn't a warlord. I guess maybe they don't know. I can't remember how much Baum has seen. Look, we've got too many parallel stories happening that I'm like, who has what information? Who's seen Heljo? We also have the whole ambiguous punishment word. Like, what does that mean to you? And also, I just don't know if Baum has it in him. Though sometimes he is scary. Rachel, I 100% knows what punishment means and enjoys it. Again, given some of the moments where we've seen a crack in the facade and she gets a little bit manic. It does a little bit, yeah, it does feel like this is a test, but actually, I just want you to get your hands dirty so I don't have to. True, good point. Even Karaka's let's make a deal. I do like the low detail facial expression we got going on. But yeah, no, good point. Karaka is making deals with him instead of just being like, I'm just gonna fight you. And the person that we're using, like making a deal with to go up against Heljo is Lady Yuri of all people. So clearly he's powerful enough that you need some heavy hitters to get involved if you want to deal with him, which is terrible for Rachel. I think Baum might be okay though. Oh yeah, also the immortal warriors thing. Is he also immortal? I feel like yes, because he doesn't have a soul. That's why he's stuck here. So that also, yeah, he's also immortal. I just have to keep reading. I can't talk and read at the same time, clearly. So we're also gonna have to deal with the immortality thing. Lady Yuri, she's got the weapons. That's part of that plan. Doesn't help you with your test. I don't think so. Can we call a friend? We noticed the Lady Yuri of it all. He's surprisingly chill. Like that actually, coincidentally, there was someone else who was shown up. Very casual, being like, yeah, she's killing some immortals and also causing terror everywhere. Anyway, I thought you would show up. It also explains why I'm gonna send you to go defeat Heljo. He's just watched one of the immortal servants be killed, right? And I'm gonna assume there's a connection here with like newcomer. Y'all probably know each other. You go deal with it because probably gonna have more success with that than I would. Go Saviors is wild. A little defeated there, Rachel. That's such a shame. I feel so bad for you, clearly. You were at a disadvantage anyway. I know that you like to have a bit of a god complex, but like, it's Baum, right? He's clearly got more power. I know that she's like a bit of a stick in the mud about that, but like, clearly Baum is the more capable of the two of you. He's the chosen one. This is what he does. And you know what? I like his enthusiasm. I also think it's really interesting that we have Rachel obviously being upset because Baum is special and the chosen one, but also this whole time, Baum has been chasing Rachel, right? And now we're having him saying no, turning his back on her, going on his own path. And we already had the conversation with Kuhn earlier on of what happens when you can't keep up with Baum anymore. Kuhn was like, I'm just gonna run after him and I'm gonna stick by him as long as I can. But what happens when Baum starts to outpace you? And I think that's what Rachel is starting to experience, right? All this time she's been like running forward and Baum has been running after her. And now not only is Baum switching direction to go in his own path, but he's leaps and bounds ahead of her, right? Like he's clearly outpacing her and she can see that. And I think that's also where some of the frustration is coming from, right? That switch in power dynamic that we've dealt with so many of those panels in the previous chapters. I like that, sir, please recover your dignity. Yeah, she might be going crazy. We didn't go back to that for a little bit. Can we check in? Can we do a mental health check? Thank you. That's wild. That's just like dusted. He's busy. Yeah, I bet everyone would be freaking out. Oh, they're cute though. I know that they're our enemy, but I like the kind of chibi effect. Oh no. Yeah, so cute. Oh, y'all shouldn't have been soulless, both like literally and metaphorically though. They are kind of cute. Crazy bitch is wild. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all need to take a breath. I do think it's funny though that we had so much lead up of like the guards and like how scary and intimidating they were with like the character designs and everything, and now they're just like, flopping around. I feel like we should trust her if anyone's gonna know the way. I hope that we do absolutely know. I do feel like the giant lever with a skull on it might be a good indicator of where we're supposed to be. Yeah, feels a little bit on the nose for the prison, but also Heljo doesn't strike me as someone who's great at the art of subtlety. That's probably where we have someone locked up. Probably. That sounds less sure than I definitely know. Are we literally bouncing off the walls? Like, what's happening? Significantly less intimidating than we've seen earlier. Rescue team, let's go. I like that Endorsi's just, even though I have this very stylish coat, it's a little bit too hot in here. Are they actually gonna attack us, or are they just, there's a giant hole in the wall behind us and they can get out now? Oh, we're trapping them. That makes sense. If we can't kill them, keep them trapped until later. How convenient. Are we panicking, like bouncing off the walls in here too? Are we still just like chanting kill them? I feel like you need to take a breath. Were we still just there? I'm like, again, like Rachel and Bob weren't there in the same room. We're just like chanting kill them over and over again. I guess if we're watching like Lady Yuri go after them, then it would be a source of entertainment, right? Given the locale. I love the immediate, I'm so sorry for this. It's just, there's a lot going on. He just seemed like there might be a little bit of instability going on. We're given like a full bow though, and Bomb is, no, we know how awkward he is about all of that. Not exactly regulars. You used to be a ranker, that's wild. Yeah, can we have a friend with ranker abilities? Oh, we don't know the location, but can you still help us? You've got ranker power and a vested interest in us being successful. I bet you do know about the kind of people who grovel. I bet you do, Rachel. Sorry. Always salty. Forever salty. It's weird to see them just casually having a conversation. I'm so used to it being so emotionally charged when they're in the same room. And the fact that Bomb is just like over it. I don't know how to deal with this dynamic anymore. I'm proud of him. I'm like, I don't know how to adjust. True. He doesn't have a great survival instinct. Yeah, we're worried about our friend. We're more like, what's going on with Lady Yuri? Good point. If you have the power of a ranker and you're immortal, and we know that Heljo is like obviously super powerful because even Kuraka is like, I have to make a deal with him instead of just like offing him the way that he would with most issues that get in his way. But like, I'm assuming that y'all have some power behind you, so why do you need someone else to do it? Other than maybe you can't figure out how to kill him, which is hence Lady Yuri and the 13-month series. Oh, we're getting backstory. Okay. We're like tripping over. Full panic. You look like you're sneaking. Interesting to have another monster talked about in this context. Interesting also to be like, who needs strength and power? I need to survive. Interesting. There's a line to be drawn. Are you the monster in question? I like your pointy ears. Your design is really cool. You're unhinged. You did tell him where a secret passage was. I feel like I would escape too. I'd be like, I know I have knowledge of the secret passages. I'm leaving. Not at all. It just completely looks like that. It's just the only thing it could possibly be. Yeah, go fight. I was just on my way to do that. I feel like that's a difficult thing to ask though. Like you give a bunch of people immortality, then everything that they're doing is not because they feel like they have to risk their life or something. And then you get into the situation where it's like, now you have to risk your life. Clearly they're not used to committing to that, right? Against all of the stuff that we had going into the floor of death, right? Where we had all of the people in our like main cast who are like, we understand that we might die in this, like going to this floor, going on this journey. We understand that might be the cost we have to deal with, right? So that's something they knew going into this. So if you ask them to do something that risks their lives, they've already prepped for that. They've already accepted that's something they have to do. Whereas if you give a bunch of people immortality, every like risk that they take is with the understanding that they're not going to die because of it. So when you give them a situation like this, of course they're going to panic, right? Like, of course it's going to cause way more chaos. It would cause chaos anyway, even if people weren't immortal, that you're like, suddenly you might die. But if you give someone the stability of immortality and then suddenly you're like, actually, you're not going to survive, they don't have the backbone for that. Like, you're going to have to give them some time to adjust at the very least. You can't just ask them to risk their life for you when the whole point was they would never have to risk their life. That's why they've sided with certain powers on the floor of death. Yeah, we're used to fighting opponents we know we can beat. It's different when there's an actual risk. Ooh, that's a crazy transformation though. I like that you're a snake, but also it makes them desperate, right? If you put someone into a full panic like that, the like survival instinct does kick in and it can make people desperate enough that they lash out in unpredictable ways. Like the instability goes both ways. You can have people who like respond to that threat as like fleeing, right, of running away, and then you have the people who fight, right? Ooh, infighting that's going on. Ooh, why what's with all the teeth? I guess we haven't really seen him fight. We don't really know what his power is. Ooh, oh dang. Oh, he does have a cool design. That's terrifying. Are you the monster in question? Because I'd believe it. Wild. Interesting too to have the like sin, right? We've got like all of the kind of hell imagery and stuff. Definitely something demonic in the way that like Hell Joe, right? I understand the name. I understand where we might be coming from with that. There's definitely a demon vibe in there with the horns and everything. Oh, so we found some kind of weapon or whatever, something that we've used as part of our power, that would also be terrifying. Chomp, are we eating him? I get we did talk about like someone who eats us to grow stronger. Oh, okay, so you're not immortal to him. We did have all the teeth that happened in the transformation. So that's not completely terrifying and going to be something I see in my nightmares for the foreseeable future. So it makes sense why they're not going up against him, because like it's, oh, you're immortal and super powerful, and it's, yeah, but that doesn't matter if we go up against Heljo. We risk being helpless if we go up against him. Oh, almost impossible for us to recover our power. So it would still be like, again, it's still something that they can't go up against as just like a immortal meets immortal, right? There's definitely an advantage tipping the scale in Heljo's favor. Yeah, I noticed the claws we got. So we got teeth and claws work the same way. So how do we know this person we're rescuing has any of their power back? Just wondering. That's wild. That's a wild design. With the eyes that he has like at his neck as well. Wild to see the way that he's crumpled after all of that. Cool. We're just going up against basically invincible enemy. That'll be fine. I don't know if we're gonna easily defeat him. We've got some power. Got some ability. Oh, we can just read minds or whatever. That's totally cool. I'm fine with the fact that Karaka can just like scramble us a little bit. Wait, no, they don't actually like each other. They're just traveling vaguely in the same direction. Yeah, Karaka is only out for himself. I also feel like, one, I need to make sure that Karaka doesn't know where Violet is. But also, two, he's already watched people get beaten to a pulp in recent times. He's a little bit in rage mode. So I feel like it would be triggering to see anyone get like horrifically beaten for information. Who's getting involved? Because I feel like it's not Wangnan, but they're coming in with a force. Hello? Is that what I think it is? Is that who I think it is? Oh my gosh, I had pushed it from my brain that he was even en route. Because I was like, there's too much for me to be stressed out about. I put it in a box and pushed it to the side. Because I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. Is it who I think you are? I feel like I see the backwards cap. That could only be one person. One Pokemon trainer meeting another. Yup. Oh my god. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm not stressed out about anything. Yeah, I feel like this is the appropriate reaction. To just be like, what? Yeah, no, that's fine. Grand entrance, though. Like, the way that he just, like, hero pose dropped into the middle of this fight. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be any property damage if we have Udik versus Karaka. I don't think that there'll be any issues with that. I don't think anything is going to be destroyed in the collateral damage of that. It'll be fine. All right. I don't even know what stresses me out more. There's so much happening. Why not add in a loose cannon? Where would be the fun and simplicity anyway? What an entrance. Honestly, the like all black with the white accessories, it's a look. I think calling him a beast is accurate. There's no one who scares me more in terms of just like sheer chaos that he can bring, quite like Udik. Like, there are some characters where I'm like, I don't really know what you're gonna do, but I'm nervous. He's one of them because he's got all the power to go with it. I love that he just immediately is, oh, you're obviously the person I met before, because all you're doing is wearing a face mask incorrectly. Yeah, don't bring attention. We're trying to be not suspicious. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people who are super powerful that have like complicated history and like associations and stuff that are all congregating on the floor of death of all places, and I'm just stressed about it. Did he come alone? Where's your friend who was with you at the like hospital or whatever? Don't sense any power. Doesn't mean he's not keeping it under wraps. Anklet. Okay, so there's your friend. Cool. Cool. So that's how we're sneaking in. Gotcha. I feel like if anyone is going to cause issues in terms of like immediately alerting everyone to their presence, it's going to be Udik, right? Like, I guess the fact that he snuck up on us should have been my first clue for that, because there have been so many times where people are like, hang on a second, that energy feels familiar. Cool. So we got to reel it in a little bit if we want to keep the anklet. At least that puts a little bit of a ceiling on his power. It makes you feel a little bit less nervous. It doesn't mean that he can't, right? Like, he could just break it and be like, caution to the wind. But it does make me feel a little bit better that we're like putting in a mechanic of, hey, if people know that you're here, it's going to cause issues. So you got to dial it in, and we're capping out at like before 5%. So you got to keep it together. Does it have to be silver? It does look a little bit like you're under house arrest. Doesn't it suit you perfectly? Is a wild thing to say to him, considering his internal dialogue. Oh, okay. So we can't just break it. There's some incentive to keep ourselves contained. I like how he's just like handicap. He's all right, fine. Makes it more fun. I'm gonna have to try something creative. The way that the ground is literally just breaking apart under his feet, and he's like at 5% max, is why I'm so scared about him being involved in literally anything we're doing. That's why. Right there. Because we've only ever seen him like mess with us. Like earlier on when we had the like showdown with like Bomb Violet, he was really just messing around to see what this rumored Violet was like capable of. And then he just left. We like no idea of what he could truly do. And we also have the whole like Lady Yuri of it all, in terms of like barely contained power that I'm scared of. It makes me upset that you think that this is dangerous. Again, like that's why I'm nervous. Is he on our side? Is he not on our side? He's at least reined in for this showdown, which doesn't seem to be doing us any favors, honestly. You know what? I overestimated you guys. The shade. Ooh, 1% will be plenty. I want him to be on our side, partly because he scares me, and partly because I do like the fact that he just has this kind of unhinged confidence. Like, I get he's also super powerful, so it's not like he's coming from nowhere, but he does just have this laid back, unbothered vibe to him that I'm like, can you please help us? Can you be on our side, and by our side, wherever Bomb is going, and not actively try to kill us? Thank you. I would appreciate it. Just in case no one's asked. He's just, anyway, how would you like to fight? And he's unarmed. He's just, I got this. It's a lot coming from you of all people. There's also the unhinged glint in his eyes, though. Hello? Dang. Do have all the wing imagery with him. Anyway, I noticed, don't we have the wings on the, like, anklet as well? He's got that healing turn back time thingy, though. Wow. Remember when we were trying to make it so people didn't know that we were here? How's that working out for us? 1%? Jesus Christ. And we're just leaving that. I'm stressed about Heljo too, because apparently he's an actual demonic creature that eats people. I'm fine. I'm not stressed at all. I have also come to the realization that I think I have like less than 100 chapters left in this season, which I know is still a lot, but it doesn't feel like it. I was like, it'll take me forever to get through season 2. And granted, it did take me a while, but now that I'm starting to see the end of it, I'm like, no, wait. Even though I know there's like another season and there's like still, I'm in denial. Why are we putting entrance in quotations? Is it because it's a portal thingy? Okay. I like that it's got some spiderweb vibes with all the like insect imagery that we've gotten. And I also I like arachnids, so I'm a weirdo. Okay. We got several places we could get to, which I feel like is probably foreshadowing. Our goal is the castle, but we might be able to come back to this mechanic later and use it to get somewhere else. He's not really a planner, to be fair. Mom is just, I don't know, we'll figure out what happens. Other people do the planning. Ooh, I love that he's gotten to the point where he's like, I do not have patience for you. You are not the focus of what I am doing. So either we're doing this or I'm leaving you behind. And I love that for him. I love the growth. I have so many words for Rachel and none of them are complimentary. I love the like stupid bravery. Like, you were all talk, I guess, confidence before. Let's see it. There's gotta be a weakness, right? Like we'll figure it out. Cool. We've got eyes, right? Because we can figure out a little bit into the future. So that could help. We could see something that was happening before it did. Maybe. We got friends. A mysterious woman who could help us set traps. That's interesting. One of our guides, perhaps? All right, that's something. That's kind of a plan. Did we not figure out that Hockney has weird... I guess because, like, we didn't fully share that, but, like, he's got weird eyes. Did we not notice? Maybe, I guess, in the tower, like, when people just have, like, weird physical characteristics, does it just slide off you at a certain point? You just stop noticing? How many people have we met with, like, interesting eyes that, like, would it just... At a certain point, you're like, I'm not gonna comment on it because who knows? Who knows what happened there? Cool, so we got a friend that is probably gonna be able to help us. Yeah, I feel like we should figure that out a little bit. I like those eyes of yours are mine. The double, like, possess is great. I like his vibe. That's wild. We lose our eyes. Was it something to do with the, seeing, like, Enru and everything? Like, seeing something that we weren't supposed to, and it, like, wrecked his eyes? Is Mata the one who brought you back? Speaking of people whose energy I love. Okay. There's the clue. Get like the deep colored seas. We've had that before. He still has like things in his mind that are directing how he got here, right? We get a little bit of that because he's, I don't know, I just feel like I need to be going here, doing this, and going with his instinct a little bit. We're getting some of the pieces of how we got there. Fair to the judgment to be like, how could you not remember losing your eyes? Feel like that would stick in your memory. Oh, ooh, he does have the eyes on his outfit, and that was already, I was already having a moment where I'm like, it makes me very uncomfortable because I was like, ooh, he has eyes as part of his costume, and I was like, that might be the aesthetic. That might be from some like random creature on this floor. And then we had everything with the like guides and everything. And I was like, oh, he has red eyes. And his like, I don't know, like necklace or whatever. Oh no. Oh no, he takes eyes. Oh, okay. So he steals eyes when he gets mad. Gotcha. Honestly, fair to be like, you should remember that. That's like a traumatic thing that happened. I wonder where the memory is gone then. What triggered that then? Because I just assumed that had something to do with the eye exchange thing. But if we don't seem to know why, does Mata have something to do with it? There's history. Explains why there's a lot of loyalty there. I don't like that we're on this like very steep cliff going on. I get the metaphor. I'm just... Okay, so we worked with him. And then I'm assuming, had a disagreement of significant proportions. Right, we went against orders. Explains a little bit of the exile going on. Just found one. Just happened across it. Aww. Is that why we had the whole thing about him being like, you need to make friends? Because that was what Hockney talked about, was like traveling with friends? Okay, I might love him. He does make me uncomfortable because the whole parasite thing. But he seems to be on our side, and he seems like a sweetie pie. Interesting that we then refused then. If the Heljo promised, he's like, if you get this fragment, I will let you leave. Which they were like, was probably a lie, but might as well try. And it seemed interesting that we then refused to help, if that was like the one thing we wanted. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of this, and I'm like, I'm assuming that's what this... part of the costume, which is not just a costume, it's making me uncomfy. Wild to see him with eyes. It makes sense though to be like, I'll give you my eyes, which is partly the deal that we're here for, but also if he's going to be able to leave, then it's interesting to use something that is literally to see the world, right? And perhaps bring some of that back in some way. Like it might be a way of looking out of this floor that they're stuck in. We accepted it, but we don't remember. It's buried in there somewhere. Okay, so I was right, that had probably something to do with the eyes thing. But also, if he was capable of leaving, the soul in the painting fragment, I feel like there's some layers. I feel like I have all the pieces. I just got to figure out how they all come together. I'm just thinking too, like the memory thing. We also have memory with bomb fragment info pieces. I want to figure it out. Maybe not significantly in the future before it's told to me in the story, but I might figure it out right before if I diligent enough. Was this the betrayal? Aww. I love him. I love that he was like, that's what you wanted, so I helped you leave, even though it was like at a risk for me, but that's what you wanted. All right, Mata's a real one. Oh, I hope that they get to travel together. I really want these two to make it through whatever is about to be going on and get to the outside and get to travel around and have friends. Yeah. There'll always be that, what memories do I not have? Losing your memories is like losing part of who you are. And how do you just move on? It's like all of the stuff that we did with Bomb, right? Like him being like, I don't know anything else outside of the cavern with Rachel. And that's like why Rachel became such like an important person to him. And it's only been through him going through this whole journey, meeting all these different people, having so many different experiences, good and bad, that he's gotten to the point where he's starting to figure out who he is, like the core of who he is and what he even wants. And it's a similar thing with Hockney. It's like, I know that I can't be happy because there's always going to be this mystery of who am I and what am I striving for? Being able to travel around with friends only makes sense if like you have some of that like passion behind you. Even when he was out, right, he like found the one station and was just like there, right? Like he wasn't traveling around and like having this huge network of people around. He was like helping out, but he wasn't actually like living a fulfilling life because he was so consumed with this, I don't understand what this blank space in my memory is, I have to know. Even the like obsession with his painting and his soul being in it and everything, right? Like even without his memory, it's still like there in his subconscious being like, you need to do this thing. Oh, we'll figure it out. I feel like this could be very dangerous if we're going back to the person who stole your eyes. Will we get them back? Can we get them back? I don't know. The tower's weird. Can we just pop them back in and we'll be fine? Cool, cool, cool. We're going back for the eyes. Can we also include that your friend was here? I don't know. We just have a little bit of a heart-to-heart, and I just feel like being like, the reason I came back was for the picture in my eyes. I feel like maybe we should also be here for our friend who like risked his life to help us. I'm just saying. Too late. But you shouldn't get involved. He's involved. He's coming with you. Luck. It's an interesting way to word that. You have the painting? Just giving, oh, I guess we knew that to some extent, but like giving up the information. He's gonna go anyway because I want my eyes back. So unless you got those stored away somewhere. I think it's so interesting in this framing too that we have like just the profile barely of Rachel. It's like involving her still in the story, right? And it's like, I want to help you. We're clearly looking at Bomb, but there's a little bit of Rachel there in the frame. And I think that's interesting given that it's from like Hockney's perspective in all of this, that her presence can't be ignored, even in this panel where like it's supposed to be Hockney being like, I know that I can help you, as in like Bomb, as in there's some kind of friendship forming there, but like Rachel is still part of it. I think that's a really good way of framing it, because you could have cut her out of it, and I think keeping her there is unfortunately making her presence continue to be felt. Of course he's coming. He's a bit ride or die. We gotta take him with us. Another favor? We haven't finished the last one. No. I know that they will. I just don't want them to. In fact, I would rather we left Rachel behind. Preferably pushed off the edge of a cliff, but that's just me. Where's that cliff that Mata was standing on? That seemed like a steep drop. All right, we're going Lady Yuri, I'm assuming? Yeah? Okay, I like that we're at least splitting up. We're, I don't know, same team cooperating, but we're not like together. Good. Leave. Yeah. To be fair, Karaka has a few other things going on right now. All right, team. I like the, let's just sneak out before he knows what we're doing. I love the cape. It adds so much drama. See, look what I was saying. Love a cape. Yeah, there's also some stuff going on at the castle. Just a few things. Are we here? We can see your eyes. How are we doing? Are we present? I don't know how I feel about that showdown, but okay. There's just so much going on. I don't even know how to put all my thoughts together into something coherent at the end here, but I think the fact that we have a few different pairing offs going on is interesting. Like we have like Lady Yuri and Heljo that's happening. We have Urik and Karaka, which seems like a interesting pair off, especially again, given that we have characters with a bunch of like backstory and like associations and stuff. So many things going on in terms of just like the dynamics of people betraying people and like information and secrets and everything being woven together, that it makes me excited that we have so many of these like prominent characters that we've built up to this point, right? That we've spent so much of the story building up the narrative of, or characters that have worked in the background with the case of Lady Yuri and everything, that we're finally getting this point where they're all congregating in the same place, where there's like different rules, right? It makes sense that it would have to happen on some place like the Floor of Death, where it's like the tower rules don't work the same way here. So we can have all of these people congregating in the same place and being involved in the same story, right? There's so much lore going on, and the fact that we have all the symbolism with like eyes, which is like gateways to the soul, and we have all the stuff with souls just on this floor in general, but what with Hockney as well, but also it's the way that you see the world, it's the way that you experience the world. It's when you say you like want to go out and explore or adventure or whatever, you say I want to see the world. There's so much imagery in that, pun not intended with that word choice. There's so much like symbolism with the eyes being part of this, and eyes already being interesting characteristic with just the way that characters work within this story, right? Like who has like red eyes and blue eyes and like having the like gold yellow, and all of that kind of comes together in this story already as like a significant marker for who people are and what houses they're associated with and all of that. So it's so interesting to build on that symbolism as we go into this story, especially talking about like Floor of Death and all of the things happening, that you have this like gateway into the soul that is missing or changed or taken, or the pure symbolism of someone like Heljo taking someone's eyes and that being intertwined with taking people's souls, or people being immortal or not immortal, or people being like tethered to this floor or not. And I think that there's so much cool stuff with that, whilst also stressing me out so much. Like I feel like this isn't just a let's have a like fun little showdown, and I feel like it hasn't been that for a while. Can I say I'm missing the workshop battles for all that they stressed me out? I'm like, remember when we were just like doing games and solving puzzles on like different floors and stuff? We're playing like an intense version of tag. Remember when that's what we were doing? Good times. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this plays to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe for the next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.